We're often told that good street photography starts with a strong subject, a striking face, an interesting pose, someone doing something unusual, and usually we make that person the focal point of the frame because we don't want the viewer to miss them. But cinematic images don't always work that way. Sometimes the most powerful photos are the ones where the person isn't the centre of attention at all. They're walking away, barely visible, sometimes even fading into the scene, just a quiet part of the wider frame. And somehow these photos feel more atmospheric. Like you stumbled onto a movie set mid-scene and hit the shutter button before the dialogue starts. In this video, I want to explore how letting go of the need to make people the focus can actually bring a stronger, more cinematic quality to your images. Let's get into it. There's nothing wrong with making a person the focus of your photo. In fact, in street photography, it's one of the most natural things to do. We're naturally drawn to faces, to movement, and to human presence. But when every image is built around that same idea, a person front and center, filling the frame, the photos can start to feel predictable, like the subject is doing all of the work and the rest of the image just follows. It's the kind of photo that shows what was happening, but not necessarily how it felt to be there. And that's often the difference between a good street photo and a cinematic one. Another common thing I've noticed is how vertical shots can still feel cinematic, especially if they take in enough of the environment, but they rarely have the same cinematic weight as a landscape frame. And it makes sense. Cinema itself is built around a wide aspect ratio. That horizontal space gives you room to tell a story, to build a mood, and to guide the viewer of your photos through the frame in a way that feels more like film than photography. A landscape frame gives you space to build the scene. It creates room for context, the surroundings, the atmosphere, and the compositional balance that feels more like a movie scene than a snapshot. And when a person appears in that wider space, they feel more like a character in a story than a subject in a photograph. Just a quick one, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Plus, I've got a new starter pack on my website. It includes guides, presets that I use on all of the images that you're seeing in this video, and a 10-day challenge to get you shooting with more intention. And while you're there, sign up to my newsletter. I share practical ideas and discounts straight to your inbox. Thank you very much. So what actually makes a photo feel cinematic? It's not just about colour grading or dramatic lighting, though those things can definitely help. It's more about how the frame feels, like a moment pulled from a film where the lighting, composition, and space suggest the story without spelling it out. In a cinematic photo, the subject doesn't need to announce themselves. They can be quiet, just small in the frame. Sometimes they're just walking through, a passerby caught in a shaft of light, or paused in a background where the scene builds around them. And often it's the space around the person that gives the image its weight. The shapes, the shadows, the buildings, the layers, the mood. Sometimes that means waiting a little longer, framing more deliberately, thinking about how the background tells its own story, even before the subject steps into it. You'll find that when you stop trying to find the subject and instead start looking for the scene, your photos begin to feel more cinematic, almost by accident. So how do you try this when you're out there with your camera? Well, let's start with the technical side. For this kind of wider cinematic framing, consider using a focal length such as 28mm to 50mm. Or if, like me, you sometimes like to shoot even narrower, such as using crop modes, just make sure to include the contextual environment around your subject. Shoot at around f5.6 to f11, especially if you want to keep more of the frame sharp and visible. It helps making the setting feel real, like part of the story, rather than fading into softness behind a shallow depth of field. Also consider using auto ISO 100 to 3200 with a minimum shutter speed of 1/250th of a second, or whatever minimum shutter speed that you're more comfortable with. This way you'll be covered for most lighting situations, indoors, sunny and overcast, and you'll still be able to capture sharp subjects without worrying about motion blur. Use your judgment for any scenes that might have the potential to have blown out highlights, and use exposure compensation accordingly. For focus, on my Ricoh cameras, I always stick with auto area autofocus in the center mode, which covers a wide enough zone to capture most of what I need without hunting. I don't use continuous autofocus or tracking for these kind of shots, or any kind of street shots, to be honest. I just use a quick center grab. But whatever your camera system, just use what's comfortable. The focus doesn't need to be perfect. The mood matters more. Once the technical side is handled, it's really about how you frame the scene. Start by looking for the overall structure of the space. Use leading lines such as roads, walkways, or building edges, as they can naturally draw the eye through the frame and towards your subject without making them the only thing to look at. Try placing your subject near one of the left or right intersections of the rule of thirds. It helps the image feel more balanced while still letting the environment do the heavy lifting. Of course, you can experiment with subject placement, whatever you think helps the image tell its story. Layering is also a technique that helps give that 3D cinematic look to your images. This involves framing any object, like a street sign, in the foreground, your subject in the middle, or towards an interesting yet not distracting background. If you'd like to learn more about layering, then check out this video that I will link up above right now. Make sure to frame carefully, including any interesting city or town elements that helps set the scene. The person might be walking through it, but it's the setting that gives the image tone, mood, and a sense of place. Sometimes just capturing a solitary figure in a wide open space is enough to evoke that quiet, cinematic feeling, a sense of distance, or even loneliness that makes the image feel like it belongs to a bigger story. So instead of asking, who should I photograph? Try asking, where would a person look interesting if they appeared? That small shift changes everything. It's easy to fall in the habit of always making people the center of everything, especially in street photography. But when you step back, open up the frame, and let the environment do more of the work, your photos start to feel different, quieter, more thoughtful, more cinematic. Sometimes it's not about finding the perfect subject, it's about creating the right space for them to appear in. And when they do, it feels like they've stepped into a scene that's already been lit and framed, but they're just completing it. So with your photography, do you usually make people the focal point of your street shots? Or do you like to place them tucked away in the frame, surrounded by the urban environment? I'd love to know, so please let us know down below. If you want to know what I wish I knew when I started street photography, then check out this video here. Until we meet again, go forth and create.